Best Cars. Today we're doing the Chicago Auto Show, and it's going to be a very special day. If you hear anything weird, it's because of that. So I'm hoping they'll have the BMW Super here and maybe some other cool stuff, because in the city I live in, the auto show is just like this very, very limited things that you can buy on the regular dealer lot any day of the week. And this is supposed to have all kinds of cool stuff and maybe some concept cars, things like that. So let's see what they have to offer here in Chicago. This is the new Honda Passport. It looks a lot better in person than it does in any of the pictures I've seen in magazines or online about it. It really looks like it's a good size. It's got those kind of chunky looking little covers over the wheels, harken back to like an XJ Cherokee from the early to mid 80s. And it looks like it's about the same size but taller. I think that's going to have a hit on their hands, because this looks more off-roady and masculine, so to speak, than the CR-V does. And I think they're going to sell every single one of these they can, because you can get a 6 in this and you can't in the CR-V. There's the new Kia Telluride. This one's obviously outfitted with all kinds of crazy stuff like leather mirror caps and door handles and that awesome ladder. And I think that you might lose a little bit of rear visibility with the Mercedes-Benz logo strap on rear spare tire, but a cool concept for them. I really think this is going to do well for them also. I mean, and I just like the shape of those taillights, I must say. They're really interesting and different enough to you're going to know what it is going down the road. So you just have to look for these on the road soon. Oh, the new Ford GT. I have not seen one of these in person yet. This is really cool. Carbon ceramic brakes. You can see the Alcantara dash. Of course, in kind of like take on the Gulf colors. It's just really cool. Really great color on this Shelby GT500. It's really cool. It says prototype. I thought it would be. Carbon fiber wheels. That is awesome. We're going to see a lot more of these coming soon, I think. But right now, they're still pretty hard to come by, especially on, hesitate to say, something so pedestrian as a Mustang. Those are cool. So I haven't actually seen the new Ford Ranger myself yet. And other than in like Australian YouTube videos where they've reviewed the version they get there, which does not have the same powertrain as we do here. They usually have diesels over there, and we don't get a diesel here. It's a good looking vehicle, and it's a good size. I mean, it's big without being imposing, and it's not the size of an F-150 for people who don't need something that big. We'll see how the 10-speed automatic and the EcoBoost 2.3-liter 4-cylinder do in real-world duty, but I think they have a hit on their hands. And it's completely different than any Ranger we've ever had in this country, that's for sure. Hey, look, everybody. It's the one that everyone likes to make fun of, myself included, the BMW Supra. Now, I don't get on Toyota's case for using BMW underpinnings to make this car. It's very expensive to make a very limited production, small production run vehicle like this, and they just didn't have the platform for it, unless they really, really beefed up the platform they share with Subaru. But the fact that it is like 93% BMW does make me snicker a little bit. It is a great shape. I love the way the roof just kind of fits. And you're not going to have, at least as far as I know for the foreseeable future, a hardtop Z4. So this is in a class by itself. Unfortunately, it's down 50 horsepower on the Z4 because it uses the particulate filter version, the European engine, but we'll have to see if they ever change that and put the more powerful engine in this model. So as a BMW guy, it's probably hard for me to point this out and admit to it, but this is probably my most favorite new vehicle out. And I saw rumors somewhere that the Rubicon was going to be available with a manual and a Hemi V8. And if they pull that off and sell that, I might just have to find a way to make the M4 become one of these, because that just seems like something I would really enjoy. I mean, it's got 4 doors, you can take your buddies with you, you can put stuff in the back, you can take the roof off. There's no wonder that this is pretty hot, and there's a lot of people looking at the other ones that are not just spinning around, that you can't actually get up close to and touch. There are a lot of people at the other two they have here, but just what a cool vehicle. I really, really like these, and I definitely could see one of these in my future. See a little bit more of a close-up of the interior of the vehicle. and the bed itself. Oh wow, the fuel filler flap is right here, way up high in the bed wall. So it looks like it has a power sliding rear window. It's got a switched outlet in the back, some bed lights. Very cool. And it's already got a bed liner. Very cool. So there's a Hellcat here, but there's someone talking about it, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but this is always a cool car. I've only ever seen one before in real life that's not this one, and it's just a fun car with a really comfortable interior and just incredibly powerful. So here's a Charger Hellcat, which I probably would actually prefer because it's 4 doors and has the same performance, just because that's just insane that it's a 4-door sedan that can do all of the speed. But and this is a very bright metallic with a very, very high level of metallic bits in it, and it just looks fantastic. So here I'm at the Vanderhall booth. Actually follow these guys on Instagram and didn't know that they would be here. Really cool little cars. 3 wheels, obviously very different options of colors. Neat stuff. So this is the Jaguar I-Pace. Again, I've not seen one of these in person yet. Fully Charged did a fantastic review of them with Johnny Smith a couple months back. And these are just going to be really nice, real-world drivable cars. My concern with these is that they don't have the charging infrastructure that Tesla does. And until you can get that kind of infrastructure built, you're going to have a hard time driving this every day. Because even if you have it charging at home on a 240 volt line with a 400 mile range, it's going to take a long time for it to charge. But I wish them all the luck. They've done a fantastic job with this, and it looks great. It looks a little different, but not weird. And it's just going to be a really usable car. New model I haven't seen yet, the new Range Rover Evoque, which is really nice color, I must say. It's kind of a grayish blue. I think Volkswagen's doing something along these lines too nowadays that just looks really nice. So this has flake in it, like it's a metallic. I don't know if you can make it out on the camera. It's not a whole lot of flake, but there's enough that when the light hits it, you can see it. And it is just a good looking little SUV, which is pretty much what anybody buys anymore, so they've got to have one to compete along with everybody else. And I think they'll do pretty well with this. It's winking at me. Oh, here's the car they should have built this way from the beginning, the suicide door Lincoln Continental, which is a good looking car to begin with, but it probably should have had the rest of the homage to its predecessor in the early 60s, the suicide doors. I don't know whether they would have sold any more of them, but it's definitely unique. There are not too many cars that have suicide doors anymore. Look at the hinges on the back. Those are some heavy-duty hinges. And just a luxurious car. No compromises on the luxury. It is not a Nürburgring winner. So here's the new 992 Porsche with the new funky automatic shift knob, or I should say PDK shift knob, and the new weird third brake light that everyone has been yelling about on the internet. I don't know, I think it looks fine. I like the light bar across the back. I know that a lot of people are doing that, and Porsche's adding that to just about everything they make now. So that's a new corporate tail end, but it is a really nice color. It's a good looking car, 5-spoke wheels, and although I have to agree with Nick Murray, it needs a rear wiper. I know it spoils the lines a little bit, but these cars are meant to be driven, not garage queens, and you gotta have a rear wiper for that. So to me, this is the highlight of the Cadillac stand. There's nothing wrong with their products, but this is a Cadillac. I don't think you could ever make something like this again, because what's right here on the back end and how many people would die impaled on the back of that. But that is a land yacht. That is an amazing car. Now here's, in my opinion, the best Cadillac currently available, the CT6V, which has a proprietary, which is odd for GM, V8 that is only in Cadillac. And it is a great looking car. And I just know they don't make that many of them. I have not seen more than 2 on the road of the regular CT6 since they've come out, which is unfortunate. But man, what a good looking car this is. Great charcoal gray color. huge sunroof. It's obviously, you know, a luxury car, so it's got rear window blinds and just a fantastic car. I really think that people are doing themselves a disservice by not buying these. I realized I needed to come back over here to Porsche and get a picture of the front of this. Man, what a good looking car this is. I know it's evolutionary and not revolutionary, and for that I'm thankful. Jeremy Clarkson may think the stylists are lazy, but I think they've done a fantastic job. I mean, just and those 5-spoke wheels. Why do you need intricate designs? These are so much easier to clean when they got brake dust on them, which, okay, I can see they're carbon ceramic, so there really shouldn't be any, but they just look good. This is a good looking car in a great color. And when they start putting the 7-speed manuals back in these and add a rear window wiper and make it to a price that I could afford it at, then I'd buy one. That's the last part there. That's the problem, because they're not going to do that, I don't think. And I don't think that I am going to be buying one of these anytime soon, especially if I'm going to get that fancy Jeep, which, shoot, costs more than halfway to what these cost. So they have a trio of Genesis G70s here, which are the North American Car of the Year, and a fantastic car from everything I've heard. Unfortunately, they are pumping the music, so I don't know if you'll be able to catch any of this or not. Hoping that you can. Man, the metal flake in this red is just popping. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, although this is a pretty good lens, but it is just full of metal flake, and it's got matching contrasting red stitching in the interior. These are cool cars. Well, well, well. Bugatti Chicago has a Huron here in a really cool blue color that lets you see the weave of the carbon fiber with a nice red interior. That's a really cool color combination. Hopefully you can make it out on the camera that there's a really deep, darker part of the carbon fiber weave that you can see in the color. It's really, really cool. So I'm not sure why there's no one over here looking at the DB11, because it's gorgeous. But I'm the only one here. And look, it's kind of like a, I don't know, a medium silver with a brick red interior. Very cool. Next to it's a McLaren. I just saw one of those at Tyler's garage the other day. Although this one probably doesn't have the check engine light on. I'm going to go back over here and look some more at the DB11. What a good looking car that is. It really is. Well, I figured out why there's no one over there looking at the DB11. They're all over here looking at the Urus. Well, however many that there are. Very lightly attended this afternoon, but it is a Tuesday. So this is the first time I've seen this vehicle in the flesh, not in a Doug DeMuro video, and it is pretty cool. Green seat inserts match the green brake calipers, which is definitely interesting. And just a $608,000 Aventador sitting next to it. And then, of course, there's that beautiful blue Chiron. Those are all the fun cars. Here's probably the most important new car at this show, in my opinion, because the RAV4 previous generation was the best-selling vehicle outside of the Ford F-150 in North America last year, on the last model year of that cycle, and this is the new one. I think it looks much better, in my opinion. I think it's a very good-looking vehicle, and I think they're going to sell a ton of them. So now I got inside the Gladiator, and the buttons and everything feel great. They feel rubbery, and they feel expensive, and they don't feel like you would expect them to feel like in a Wrangler. Power window switches, like, it's got stitching and a full color display. I mean, this is just a really cool vehicle. So they have the new Explorer in a beautiful blue. It looks like an ST trim with some great looking wheels on it. And unfortunately, they have another video playing really loud here. I wonder if they have these things on media days when the media comes to do this, because I'm yelling into the camera hoping that I'm drowning out that guy. But this is basically a rear-wheel drive platform again, and just really, really going to be a great car. Another, like, one that, like, I'm glad they finally went back to a rear-drive platform. And it's just one of those things that makes it much more likely that in the future I would consider purchasing one of these. The previous generation, current generation, I guess, I had as a rental car in Iceland and did not care for it that much. It was huge on the outside, tiny on the inside, and was terrible on gas. And it was front-wheel drive bias vehicle. And wow, this is just a great color. It really looks good. Tons of flake in that metallic paint again too, and you can tell it's a pre-production vehicle. There's some, you know, odd things like in the back on the tailgate. You can even see that there's a run in the paint, which I'm going to try to highlight. I don't know if it'll show up or not, but it's right there. You can tell that this is obviously a prototype pre-production vehicle. Didn't think they'd actually have one of these here. Tucked way over here in the corner is a poor little Fiesta, which I believe is the best-selling car in the UK, but think these might be the last ones sold in this country, which is unfortunate. It's a perfectly good car. It's just not to Americans' tastes at the moment, and sad to see it go. So this is the new Chevy Blazer, which is a front-wheel drive. It's bigger than I thought, but it's not the Blazer I remember, and it's not a Blazer that I think I would consider. If I were going with something like this, I think that Explorer that I looked at is probably where I would go. Rear-wheel drive biased, more towing capacity. Well, this is a decent-looking vehicle, but I was hoping that they would do something based off of maybe their new pickups, the Colorado, the Canyon, two pickups between them and JMC. Well, they brought a ZR1. That is a big wing. Look at the cool gold in the carbon fiber on that hood. At least looks gold in this light. I'm not sure if it is, but in here it is. Red interior, and that carbon fiber goes through the removable roof and into this huge wing. Man, that is a big wing. I think I'd want the wing delete if I got this car, but that's just me. Well, I've seen a lot today, and I have a bunch more things I need to do today. So I think I'm going to call it a day and head on over to my favorite Chicago landmark German restaurant, Berghaus, and grab a pint and something to eat. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Doug's Cars. Thanks for watching.